Hi guys, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I've never done something like this where I really open up with you guys and talk about my life and college. So I wanted to dedicate this video specifically to my Berkeley experience, what the audition process is like, what it's like to step foot into it your first week on campus, and what it's actually like online. And I've been really hesitating to do this video because of the worldwide pandemic and all these crazy riots going on, and it's really sad what's going on in our country, and I'm praying for it. But before I get into this video, I just wanted to say that I'm not trying to offend anybody in any way. This is just my personal experience, and this is what I think about the college and some pros and cons. So if any of you are seniors in high school and are looking to apply to Berklee College of Music, this would be a very helpful video, I think. I put in some time and research before. So before I get into it, I just wanted to introduce myself. So I'm Victoria Burrell, I'm 19 years old, and I'm going into my junior year at Berklee College of Music. And I am a professional music major, which means that I'm concentrating in songwriting and composition and pro music. I'll get into that a little bit later, but you can basically choose a couple of concentrations for this major. It's very versatile, and I would consider myself a versatile artist, rising artist. It has been very hard to strive now since that we're home, and it's really hard to get yourself out there as a musician. But enough of my talking, just get to the points in the video. So first off, I really didn't know that Berklee was a thing until I was 17 years old and a senior in high school. My dream school was Juilliard, but I'm really glad that I didn't get into that school because it's like less than 1% acceptance rate, and really nobody can get into it. But my goal was really classical music at the time, and I wanted to be like this classical pianist, and that's what I thought, that's the only thing that I could do. So when I heard about Berklee and a lot of people were talking about it, like, why don't you apply to Berklee? This is a great music school. So I looked it up and I'm like, wow, this school is very diverse, culturally, musically, just so many options for music and so many different genres that people use in the school. It's just insane, the amount of cultures that we're exposed to at Berklee. So I decided to apply, and I applied I think November of 2017, and I was lucky enough to get an audition. So the audition was pretty smooth. It was really fun, actually. They were very nice, the judges that I had. I remember that I performed a classical piece for them, and I did the Beethoven Sonata, I think Opus 57, and so I played that for them, and I went into this audition knowing literally nothing about jazz, nothing about blues and all that. So I pretty much had to use my ear for the rest of this audition, because in the audition they ask you if you can improvise a little bit. So they did a little bit of call and response, if you guys know what that is. Someone played the guitar, something on the guitar, and I played it back on the piano, and they asked me to do improvisation for blues, and I was just starting out and I just learned about it and looked it up on YouTube. So yes, the Berklee audition can be really smooth, and sometimes it can be really nerve-wracking. I was really nervous about it, but once I got in to the audition, it was really fun. And it was really nice. Everybody was nice. I'm not saying that it will happen every time, but they will ask you, depending on if you're a vocalist or instrumentalist, they'll ask you to do your own piece, and then they'll ask you to do an improvised solo, kind of, and there's some call and response here and there. And this is just really to test your ears out. So I think it was like a month after I found out, and I found out of March of 2018. And it was a really exciting day. It was pretty much the only music school that I got into because all the other ones I applied to were very selective. And yeah, it was a really exciting day. But going into Berkeley, I literally didn't know anything about jazz or blues or any of these R&B genres, so many different genres. I didn't know how to improvise with, and I didn't know how to play. So I was very focused on sheet music, and as a classical pianist, very focused on music on the page and not just in your head. So getting to what it's like to prepare for Berkeley and actually starting your first week or orientation week, it can be a little nerve-wracking because we're really new to all of this stuff. And on, I think, the third or fourth day, they have you take the ESPA, which is a test that tests your harmony, ear training, and arranging ability. And so everybody will be able to take this test, and depending on how well you do, so if you have a high score, you will be able to maybe get to ear training 3 or ear training 4 at first, and maybe harmony 2 or harmony 3. But I personally got into harmony 2. And so I did pretty bad on the test, to be honest, because I didn't know that much about music theory that I actually thought I did. And so it really tested my ability to really hear different pitches, different chords, and I didn't quite get that yet. So your first day at Berkeley is pretty chill. Pretty much they just give you the syllabus. But your first year, you always have either arranging, or you'll have not arranging, and you'll have MAT, which is the first level of harmony. And then your first year, you'll have, depending on how well you did, any level of ear training. And you'll have arranging 1 if you have done okay on the ESPA, which I didn't do that well, but I made it to arranging. And so ear training and harmony has really helped me. I really recommend Berkeley for that, because the curriculum for ear training and harmony is unbelievable. I know literally everything there is to know about music theory now, and I didn't a while ago. But whenever something is being played on the radio, or whenever someone asks me to listen to something, I literally know what it is on the spot now. I know what chords they're playing, and what the melody is like, the solfege of it. Berkeley teaches you all of that, and it's a little bit on the expensive side, everything. Obviously I couldn't afford to go. But it was a miracle that I have surpassed those 2 years at Berkeley, and I'm so grateful for it. But ear training and harmony are the best classes, I think, because it really helps you as an artist, as a songwriter, and as a musician, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, that is what the courses are looking like. You have ear training, harmony, arranging. In your first year, you have your private instruction for your instrument, or your for a vocal principal. And you'll also have a couple of liberal arts classes, like any other college, but it is pretty on the difficult side. The second year at Berkeley, my second year was the hardest, just because I had a bunch of credits to take, and counterpoint and all of these things were not that easy for me my second year. So yeah, it really depends on what you can take, how many credits that you can handle, and yeah. Now I'm going to cover the question that everybody asked: is Berkeley worth it? And sometimes it's not, and sometimes it is. It depends on you and what you think. I really think of it as a big investment into what my goals and my career are. It is definitely one of the most expensive schools, and I'm honestly kind of nervous about it, but we're all gonna be in debt. Like, every college student is gonna be in debt, and that's how it is. But is Berkeley worth it? It depends on you. Berkeley is kind of worth it for me because it's really teaching me a lot of music, like so much music. I transcribe stuff now, which is crazy. Like, transcribing is like listening to music and being able to write it down. Berkeley's worth it to me because I really needed all those classes, guys. I needed to learn about music theory. I needed to train my ears on chord progressions and all of those different types of things. And I had one of the best piano teachers at Berkeley. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I have to say that it's kind of hard to find a really bad teacher at Berkeley. It's hard to find someone that's not going to be a good teacher. All of the teachers that I've had so far were pretty much amazing, and some of the teachers that I had were okay, but it depends on you and what you can handle. But pretty much I would say that Berkeley is worth it to me. Sometimes people are like, this is way too expensive, Berkeley's not doing nothing for me, so it all depends on you. Yes. And now getting on to this question, how do I know which major that I want to do? Is a really good question because I changed my major one time, and I realized that composition wasn't just the major that I wanted to do. And there's so many different majors at Berkeley, but you just have to realize which one is for you, and what is the best fit for you. So there are several majors at Berkeley. There's actually quite a few, but it all depends on what you're like. Are you a versatile artist? Do you want to do a lot of things? Like, I'm a versatile artist. I do so many different genres. I can't make up my mind. So I decided to go with professional music, which allows you to do like almost three different like majors at once, kind of, but they call them concentrations. So you're able to choose from concentrations if you're doing professional music. There's other majors like jazz comp. There's majors like songwriting. There's music ed majors. There's literally everything. You just have to decide which one is for you. Sometimes it will take you a year to figure it out. Sometimes it will take you more. But it all depends. But I really prayed about it, and professional music is the right major for me. I just researched a lot about it and talked to a lot of different artists and even like alumni from Berkeley. And professional music is a really good major to choose because you'll be able to take a bunch of courses for different concentrations. So I take a lot of production and songwriting courses, which is really helping me with my songwriting and like producing. I've gotten so much better at production and making my own pop songs and, even jazz stuff. But, professional music really allows you to have that skill. You can pretty much do a lot of things, like just be able to open up a computer and start making something. And that's what Berkeley has really taught me. Like, it's in your hands. You just have to not be lazy and be able to use all of those tools. And that's another thing. What are you going to do after Berkeley? What is your career going to be? I really don't know because music is a very, very competitive field. It's one of the most competitive fields, and especially in 2020, it is very, very difficult. So I really want to be my own recording artist, but everybody does. So it's a long shot, but I'm really trying. And it's not ever too late or early for you to start working on your craft and getting better and better each time. So that's what I've been doing. And I pray that there will be a door open after graduating Berkeley. But I know that I want to do music for the rest of my life, and that has been a passion of mine. And you also have to realize that people at Berkeley, some of them, some people will drop out because they just didn't like it, or they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do music anymore. And it just all depends. There are some people that will drop out of like med school and come to Berkeley because they just want to do music. So everybody is different, and a lot of people change what they want to do with their life. But I obviously have, if you guys follow me, I have a strong faith in God, and I know that He'll provide for me and my family. So there's really nothing that much to worry about other than a bunch of debt after college. But at the end of the day, if you know what you want to do, it's great. If you have a passion for what you want to do, just please do it, and just never give up. Just persevere with your passion and your art, and God will bless you. That being said, guys, Berkeley is merely a tool to use as an artist. It's not a ticket to anywhere. You really have to push yourself really hard to get where you want to be. Berkeley is not going to hand you anything. It's not going to tell you how to get the biggest connections in the music industry. It's not going to do anything. And that's the negative side of Berkeley, because Berkeley is not going to really tell you what you're going to do with your life. They're not going to tell you all of these amazing jobs that are being offered, like in film scoring. You really have to push yourself. You really have to, go out there as an adult and make connections, because, being an artist is all about making connections. And even in Boston, is really important to make connections. And speaking of which, Boston is a very, very friendly community. Obviously, if you guys have followed me for a while, I am a Christian, and I have been raised in an amazing background. So there's certain belief systems in Boston that I don't necessarily agree with. But going to Berkeley as a very liberal school, it's a really good opportunity to love and be open to everybody. So Boston's a great community. If you're looking to move there and go to Berkeley, I would say go for it. It's really sad what's going on with the pandemic, but you can also do Berkeley online, which I'm kind of new with, and I'll talk a little bit about Berkeley on Zoom. So Berkeley on Zoom was definitely a big adjustment for a lot of us, but I found that my teachers were very flexible with material. They taught the same way as they would in a classroom, and it was the same kind of questions being asked in the classroom. I learned the same amount, and I was doing as well as I would in school. So Berkeley on Zoom was definitely an adjustment, because I would be online until like maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night sometimes, because I would have night classes. The time zones were different for so many different people in my class. So Berkeley on Zoom was definitely a cool experience, especially as a pianist, and performing in front of your teachers is kind of different online than it is in person. But it was definitely a great semester. I finished off my 4th semester online, and it was amazing. If you guys are continuing on Zoom in college, it's a great opportunity to gig like online. So that's anyway, I think I'm going to sum this video up, but I just wanted to say that I'm so grateful to go to Berkeley, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think it's an amazing tool for young artists to use. Berkeley is a tool, that's what it is. And it's very helpful in connections, and even in music business. If you guys are looking to like be an A&R someday, whatever you want to do, Berkeley will help you with that, your career goals. And I just wanted to say that thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to, and click on the notifications. And also, if you want to follow my Spotify and Instagram, I'll put it right here. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Bye!